if they're not understanding of the fact that
Crabominable.
Abominable.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Chatting Shits about the Sovereign Cup. Did I get the name right?
Yes, that is the name.
Good. Joining today, I've got Dan as usual, and then we've also got Jake, Sharky King, and Clark, Magoo Pants. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good. Very cold, ironically. Saying to someone who lives in Canada.
Yeah, you have no right to complain.
Yeah, it is weird that we all seem to be complaining about the cold and stuff like that, and Matt literally has to scrape his drive every day to be able to walk to the end of it because it's just so freaking cold. 18 layers Matt's wearing there.
To be fair, Daniela gets up earlier than me, so she leaves for work earlier than me, so she normally just to scrape it.
It's so cold, Clark's indoors though, so it's kind of...
Yeah, that's when you know it's cold if I'm inside the house.
I had to come back because, well, first of all, I had this, but it was also like ridiculously cold outside. I've been out chasing Mankey XLs and couldn't feel my fingers by the end of it.
Fair. Well, we should probably preface this by saying we have very little knowledge on the Sovereign Cup. We don't have PvP rankings yet, so we've very limited ability to do team building and to do many sims. So it's kind of I want to say
for yourself, I'm on my third team, and that's mainly because Jake told me that Charm's not allowed. So.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say this is going to be a high level chat, but I don't think chatting shit is.
It's going to be a chat.
Yeah. Does anyone have any overall thoughts from the initial look at the custom rankings that we saw?
A bit dog shit. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun. Every meta's got its nuances and has lots of fun and everything like that, but it doesn't immediately scream, "Wow, look at me! There's loads of fun stuff going on."
Come back and play show 6, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every meta is different, and sometimes you've got to wait till it kind of grows on you and stuff like that. I mean, you should be excited, Matt. You could run Psycho Cut Medichamp if you wanted.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Get that with Pup and Dynamic Punch.
I can't run Dynamic Punch, it'd be just Pup.
Oh, damn, you can't even run Dynamic Punch.
There we go.
You give it Pup Ice Punch for no reason, for none of the things that it hits.
There you go.
But it's different. It's different. We're banning moves. Come on, how long have we always talked about, let's just ban Charm?
Yeah.
What's if you're talking about probably the most OP move out there, it's counter. It's busted as fuck. So let's ban that as well. I can see. I'm up for embracing new things.
I agree with that. I think we had that Stealth Cup, I think it was last season, where it was specifically built around you could only use Pokemon that learnt specific types of moves. I think it's interesting that we've kind of gone in the opposite direction for this one. I'm in a similar boat to you, Dan, where I'm not yet sold on this, mainly because from the custom rankings that we can see, Beware is number 1. And I feel like any meta with Beware in it is a Beware meta.
You're going to like this then. If you run Sims meta versus meta, it gives you top 100. No shields. I think the most successful one out of all of them is a Reggie Ice.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Got a pretty good Regice. So I can say that.
It makes me sulk.
If anybody from Niantic's watching this, ignore my name. When the level 15 Reggies were in tasks, I think it was 22 alt accounts so that I could trade the level 15s to myself and get a good IV of each of them. So now I've got like a shiny Great League eligible of every single Reggie. And
Very nice.
That shows you what
This is
I
a
have
man-
to do with
This
my
is a
free
man
time.
who doesn't have kids.
Yes.
I have nowhere near that level of time.
I also have the same reason for Guzzlords and Tapu Fini. So if anyone needs those, just give me a shout.
I need a Feeny.
Please.
Liverpool then.
Cheers.
Well, I can confidently say, Jake, that you're not going to be in any trouble. No one from Niantic watches this, so I'm not massive enough to be linked with Niantic, unfortunately. So
good.
You say this, but I did notice last month or this month of the Devon Cup, there was a suspicious amount of Marowaks being played. Thank you, followers. Thank you for knowing that I will not let you down. Marowaks were everywhere. Even the supreme honcho of Devon itself, the godlike Adelian, ran a Marowak. Chatting shit is watched by some big circles. This is like
some massive names.
Well,
you know.
So that being the case, what do we really not want to see? So let's change what we're going to go for. We really don't want to see something.
So Beware is terrible. You don't want to use Beware.
Well, that's the one I was going to pick, you see.
Nah.
I think everyone should bring it.
In this cup, Dunsparce. Let's just I'll make a promise to ourselves. We won't run Dunsparce.
All right. Good effort. Yeah.
All right, no one's going to go with that. But
no.
Seriously, Dunsparce is going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I've got a solution to that for you later on. And now that we know that people actually listen to us when we pick really shit mods, there's no excuse not to see.
I've got a solution to it as well, and it's Psycho Cup Medicham.
Yeah. With Puff.
With Puff.
What has he done? Dan, you're up first tonight.
Okay, so I'm going to pick a Pokemon that's close to my heart, and it feels like I'm the meta bitch of this group tonight, which seems unusual because usually I try and keep things a bit different. I'm going to pick the El Squirrel Pokemon. Is it El Squirrel Pokemon? It's Pokedex numbers Ellie Squirrel.
Yeah, as in like electric.
Yeah, it's Pokedex number 0417, and it's Pachirisu. I love Pachirisu. I've had one for a very long time. I have walked my Pachirisu over 1,000 miles to get it maxed out. And this was obviously, I've had it long before it's now accessible because of GoFest and things like that. So everybody does have one. So thank you, Devon, for actually allowing it because Sylph never did. And that hurt me a lot because if you've walked 1,000 miles to use something and then they ban it in every cup, it kind of does not spark joy. Based on things, because we don't know any sims or anything like that, I have looked at numbers, but they are based on custom rankings, so please ignore these if they are not correct. If you're confused whether you should go Spark over Volt Switch, don't be confused. Volt Switch is just fucking better and actually hurts things, and Spark, well, tickles. Yeah, and doesn't really get anything and doesn't really win you anything much more. Looking at one shield based on my basic sims, you're looking at 58% wins. 0 shields, you're looking at 66 wins, 66%. And 2 shields, 71% wins. Do you want to know some interesting facts there? Some really interesting facts. If you give it 2 Volt Switches, lead, you get 89% in the 1 shields, 86% in the 0 shields, and 91% win rate. Out of 100 mons that are in this cup, you get 91% win rate at 2 shields with 2 Volt Switches. With 3 Volt Switches in the 1 shield, you get 92% win rate. So out of the 100 mons, 92%, you're pretty much losing to Dunsparce and fuck all else that you would pick. 0 shields, 88% win rate, and 2 shields, 92% win rate. In the 2s to 1s, so if you spend 2 shields, they spend 1 shield, you're at 94% win rate, which is pretty good, And the 1 to 0s, you're at 93% win rate. So you can see this little squirrel is a powerful mod. it actually packs a bit of a punch. Looking at the one shield things that it beats Beware, so Jake will be happy there. It beats your Water Ices, so your Celos, your Wall Range, your Laprases. It beats Mewtwo, beats Florges, beats Malamar, beats Hypno, beats that little pig thing, Oinkalong.
Oinkalon, yeah.
Yeah, and it beats all you nonces who are running Chansey. Yes, Pachirisu beats you. Fuck off. If we upgrade that,
This
to
is Dan's advertisement for Chansey Community Day, February 4th.
Up to 2 shields, you start picking up some good, nice little wins. You're picking up Dedenne, you're picking up Smoochum. Don't knock Smoochum. Actually, at level 50, Smoochum is a beast. Picks up for it, which is number 2 in the rankings, custom rankings, which is amazing in itself. Picks up Snorlax, picks up a Regice in the 2 shields. Zeros, you're losing some, you're picking some up. You're getting a Rangaroo and Delphox, which are your big highlights from it. I actually think, as far as things go, if you're going to run an electric this month in the Devon Cup, Pachirisu is the one for you. Yes, it's a big spend, but you should have all done Go Fest and grinded really hard and done like what Jake did and got a bus around the place, just going round in a big circle.
Free City bus.
Catching everything. Sort of regretful I didn't go with Jake, to be honest. But, you know, I've made me...
Sinnoh, Dan.
Sinnoh, let's do it. Yeah, Pachirisu's the one for you. Little squirrel, lot of heart, and at 13, what is it, 1,300 CP-ish? 1,000.
Mine's 1,353, so yeah.
Yeah, don't think it gets to 1,400. You know, this is a low CP mon. Low CP mon that really kind of packs a punch.
Will you be
seen as spicy?
Will you be using yours, Clark? Oh, I don't think you'll be seen as spicy. I think Pachirisu is the only reason electric types were included here. Sorry, go on, Clark. Clark, go
on. I think Dan works in sales. Definitely sold it to me. and Chansey, yeah. You want to see the makeup that I wear whenever I use it as well? It's pretty good.
Just on the Chansey note, I believe that is the second time the word nonce has been used in chat and share. Ask.
The first time it got to be cut out. That was like the first edit that was ever.
That was the first edit that was ever done. It had to be cut out. Ask Elliot about that. But yeah,
it's a good thing you don't do edits anymore, Matt.
It's a great thing I don't do edits anymore. We're way past that.
I didn't say who the Chansey users were. You know, just
no. It's just
they may have questionable life choices.
Just like people who run their really good ranked Shadow Bastiodon, but have hatred towards Carbink and Pachirisu. They're just one of those people off the top of my head. I can't name a name. I don't know who I've been.
What about people that run Gallade in Sylph Cups in the past, but run Charm instead of Confusion?
Oh, who does that?
I've done that once.
You might as well just run Galv, mate. You know what I mean? Just
honestly, it was very fun. It was in a factions meta, and no one expected it. So my question in terms of Pachirisu, it seems to be limited by the fact that it doesn't have any coverage moves. So the second it comes against something that resists electric, are you not then in for some trouble? Which is why you get something like you typically see like Luxray and Electivire up there, and Galv as well, just because they've all got some extra thing that they can do. Why do you think, and why do you recommend Pachirisu over any of those?
So, what Pachirisu has over them really is bulk. It is absolutely bulky. Anyone who's ever thrown a shadow ball at Pachirisu and watched it go, ha ha! take one more of these and hit you with a few more volt switches, knows that it has a certain level of bulk. And yeah, it's missing a coverage move. Do you know what I mean? And I'll be honest, even if it had Felt Stinger, I'd take it, similar to Togetic or something like that. Because it is missing that, and I don't really see the need for both electric moves, to be honest, because you're not really throwing one of them. It's kind of, that's the sort of situation you're in. But it is the bulk. I mean, again, this is an electric type that can take down Frostlass. It's got its wins just through that level of bulkiness. And Matt's right, this cup, it isn't spicy. I've run Pachirisu whenever I could. In a lot of times, we've done a lot of draft metas where I picked it. We've done Siltec 2 where I picked it. Because if I've been given the chance, I've run it. Because again, you walk over 1,000 miles, you fucking run it. But it's finally available. That's why you should run it, because you've never run it before. And, look at.
I do like
this.
that idea.
You look at this month in Devon. People, you could tell the people who thought that this, let's be tryhards and run Wishcash, and it's like, why are you running Wishcash? Do you need to run Wishcash? Really? Do you need to run Chargeable? Really? Why don't you just, because there ain't a proper ranking system in place at the moment, why not just play for fun? Play for things that spark joy. Use Marshall because it's cool and you're never going to use it, and you built it anyway, so you might as well run it.
And it did well against me, thank you.
All right, Clark, I'm sorry, mate. Sorry, that wasn't a dig at you, Wishcash. I'm sorry. That wasn't
I
a
have
dig.
Marshtomp and Chargebug. I just went with Chargebug because it does spark joy, because just every reaction that I see with Callum and his just sense of youth-like wonder from seeing the Charger bus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree completely. I think Pachirisu is. I mean, I sort of jokingly said here that Pachirisu is the only reason they included electric, but if you weren't using Pachirisu here, I cannot see a reason to use another electric, because as we well know, we've said it many times down the years, electrics don't really beat Celio, they don't really beat Walrein, because they get outsped and they're frail, and what's the point, really? And Pachirisu is like the only one that can do that. And to Jake's point about not being able to hit anything neutrally that resists electric, what's there? Like Latios, fine, but Thunder, Volt Switch and Discharge is going to hurt that, let's be fair. And then the occasional Grassmon, which is going to struggle versus Celio. Like, I don't think there will be, apart from other electrics, which are going to outbulk anyway.
I think the only thing that really hurts you is what's the Hisuian Electrode? Hisuian,
Yeah, there you go.
That's getting you really bad. But most stuff is hitting enough that you're not losing, you're not shitting the bed versus any.
So I just had a quick look, and Pachirisu beats Beware, so I'm absolutely sold.
I did say that. I think I said that first.
Yeah,
it's on my notes.
I loved it. Then yeah, no, I'm in.
Fair.
I'll do it now.
Well, Clark
and it beats every flyer. Shockingly.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I don't
If
think
it
we've
flies
seen
in the
many
air.
flyers.
No,
I disagree.
I think Rufflet's got a good shout here.
People who
Okay, maybe not.
Didn't we say that like a couple of Sylph Cups ago? And then
No one
and
used
then
it.
no.
Clark, let's come to you, Clark, because you're Mon Scott. I think whoever created this cup probably created this cup thinking this Mon has always been fun to use in Stealth, and it will nothing, that will be the case here. So I think this cup's been created with this Mon in mind.
But for mine?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's gone that way.
Right, okay, well, we touched on it earlier, so I just think Chancer is just such a incredible, bulky of awesomeness. But I'm not going to talk about that. So when I first looked at the typings, I just wanted to immediately think, what do I enjoy using? That's always number one. I'm not too fussed about where it is on the rankings unless it's completely rock bottom. And I saw that index number 687, the evolved version of Inca, Malamar, is going to be, I think it's going to be a really good pick. Its main reasons, I reckon, are it's an absolute spam javelin. I think it's really, really quick at charging up against things like ice types, normals, and psychics. I think it's going to be very strong across the board there. They're my main other reasons. Also, you've got to do something fancy with your phone to evolve something into a Malamar. Why would anyone not want to bring that in just for that novelty? You don't need to use a stone. Just hold your phone a bit adrift, and you've got yourself a Malamar, sometimes by accident. So I think my recommendation with this, I'd be sticking it up front or hiding it in the back. They're always my two favourite places. Never in the middle. No, it's not a very good place to be. I don't think it will be a particularly good safe swap. You've got to make sure that you're going to be avoiding any sort of bug types, most of which are not going to be used because they're bugs and electrics, of which most people got the femme squirrel or whatever she's called. So I think it's going to be quite a safe bet. That's my opinion. Break it to pieces, other than avoid them bugs. In fact, I was doing a little bit of messing about yesterday because, of course, everyone's battling using the psychics and using the ghosts at the moment for one reason or another. And it's actually a little bit tougher than I first expected it to be. I think if something like that can not get completely KO'd by a Gengar using Shadow Ball, it did all right. There was like enough left, if that helps. Not in the slightest for this meta. But yeah, I think that's my pick.
I think it's a good pick.
Ooh,
I do.
does it also beat Beware as well?
One of those iffy matchups. It's
it's very bit dependent.
Superpower's busted. It's a good move. I mean, I know it debuffs you to hell, but I think it was Hawkeye who was in a Gym Breakers meta a while ago, and he was like, hit and run, get in there with Malamar, make him sweat. Are you going to hit him with a superpower? Are you going to hit him with a foul play? Make him freaking sweat, spend a shield, get up to 2. They have to do something. They have to react to you. And that's why I think Malamar's awesome here. On a side note, though, you say you can just turn your phone upside down. Was it Mystic Gas who, when Malamar first came out, couldn't evolve it because his phone didn't have a gyroscope or something?
Did he keep turning it and it kept flipping correct?
It just didn't do anything. I'm sure it was Mystic Gas.
I'm sure it was true. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, not only does he live in Bristol, but he has a shit phone as well. But no, as I said, seriously, I think Malamar's a very good shout. Things that punch here are going to be useful, and you're going to have to get that punch in somewhere. The fact that you've got foul play, which is going to hit the psychic types as well, is quite nice to have. So yeah, being able to go to double superpower, throw one off, dip into something else, something that maybe has a level of bulk to it. So even a Pachirisu, maybe a Dunsparce or something like that, you could switch straight into and still keep pressure on there, because they're ones that people are not going to necessarily want to switch into. As I said, if you get 3 Volt switches on a Pachirisu, you're actually fucking the meta up pretty much. And Dunsparce, once it gets going, can do a similar sort of damage type thing. So I think as a playing stat wise, Malamar's got a lot of kind of fun about it, and plus it looks cool, and the shiny's out there, and that's weird looking as well, which is great because we all love a weird looking shiny.
And squid's kind of tasty as well, you know. You use
I don't know. It's been
use,
in the sea. It's been in the sea. People piss in the sea. I don't eat anything from the sea.
is that why it's so salty? Oh, that's because the sweat in the sea as well. Yeah, that's it.
No, it's because of something else, mate.
Oh.
Whales. Ah,
I'm a big fan of Malamar. I've used it in just about every cup where it's been eligible, and I think it's always good. I think you were saying about the Beware matchup. I've just had a look at it. It's very, very iffy. You have to bait and then land the superpower, and then they win the twos. But I still think it's one of those things where if you don't land the bait, you're gonna just jump out and do with that energy later on and see what needs to be done. I think it's a very, very good pick, and I didn't actually look at the meta until about 20 minutes before this call, and I'll absolutely be using Malamar. So thank you for introducing me to the fact that Malamar is in this. So
I picked it also before I looked at the meta or the kind of pseudo meta that we've got access to, and I'm quite happy to see that it's still kind of in that top 20 region.
yeah,
So,
that's where it always is. It's never number one because it's a very bait dependent mon, and you've got to play about with it in the right way. But when you do get it in the right, this sounds so terrible. You got to play with it in the right way and get it in the right position.
That's how it
But
goes.
when you do, it's a cracking mon, and it's absolutely worth the investment.
Yep, get it in the right
And
position.
also, I've got a really good shiny. So
Yeah.
Do you think you need a good PvP stat one here? I have a feeling because there'll be a lot of Malamars about that having an attack weighted one might actually be the way to go because you don't rely on Malamar's bulk, you rely on its speed, and getting that CMP first might be the advantage. I've got a good rank one, a PvP rank one, but I've always tended, maybe because I played it in Gym Breakers more, I've always tended to go with my attack weighted one. Just for that CMP kind of nah.
The one thing that I agree completely. I think Malamar's excellent, and it won't do you any wrong by putting it on your team. The one thing that annoys me slightly about it is that I've always found that a superpower never quite does enough. And so when I was sort of first looking at this, saw that all the bulky Pokemon were weak to fighting, I was originally looking at Pawmots, thinking that stab close combat would perhaps hit a little bit harder and make the difference than it does. But it's just that little bit slower than Malamar, and so Pawmot's only really any good in the zeros because of the speed of things here. Like it's going to get outsped. Malamar, despite being not as ruthless in one-shotting things, is so much better across the boards in the different shield scenarios. Like, I think if you're going to go something with a big fighting move here, there's Brick Break on Ferret, right? But yeah, I think Malamar absolutely is the best fighting move coverage here, which is at odds with what I'm going to say later for sure. But I think. I think there's no way Malamar's going to let you down here, and I actually think with it being a bulky cup, Hypno will make an appearance.
Yeah,
and having the resistance to confusion is just with this A-Rat is out there, but that's so weak to brick breaks from Ferret. Like that's kind of iffy. Like having that resistance to Hypno whilst not falling apart to Ferret of all things is just really, really nice.
It is weird that we're having to have an actual discussion about using Ferret.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Devon. These are the discussions we want, really. Let's go build something stupid. What do you think of taking Shadow Snorlax, for instance, or Snorlax versus Malamar? So you're getting the body slams, which is stab, which is hitting a lot of things very neutrally and things like that. Lick damage, which is doing, because Psycho Cut does nothing. Let's face it, it's not going to hurt anything. And still having that superpower. Do you think Malamar has an advantage just through speed over Snorlax, even
No,
though Snorlax has arguably more bulk. Even at the Shadow, I think has got more bulk.
I think they have very separate roles. Like, and as Clark said, like you might not want to say swap a Malamar, but like I don't see any reason why you couldn't run them together, because with Snorlax, there's no real need to rely on superpower. Like Snorlax is fine going for body slams. Malamar obviously can go for dark pulses, or is it foul play, or one of them?
Foul play.
Foul play. But it's not as devastating as a superpower. Like if you took superpower off Malamar, you're not really Malamar. Let's be real about it. So I see them playing very differently, and I wouldn't be against running them on the same 6 or even the same 3. So I don't think it's an either or situation like it perhaps would be with something like Format again, for example. But yeah, but just because Snorlax has that extra level of bulk that you're talking about, yeah, and that's important here because, like you say, there's no real reason not to run Dunsparce. There's no real reason not to run Unkalunge. And there's no real reason not to run things like Celio, like in that mind. So having bulk to keep up with that is going to be important.
Can you just pronounce that pig Pokemon again?
I said Unkalunge, I think.
Okay.
It does look like Oink Cologne, doesn't it?
It is Oink Cologne, yeah. As in the perfume.
Yeah, as in like, you want to smell like a pig?
Yeah.
Get some Oink Cologne.
Oh, that should be an advert, Clark, honestly. That should really...
Do you want to smell like a pig?
I'm with Matt, though. You know, all these new ones, it's like, I don't know how to pronounce half the names. Yeah, so I'll stick up for Matt.
Just watch the anime. It's easy.
I ain't got kids, Jake.
Neither do I. I've also not watched the anime.
That's no excuse. Watch cartoons, kids or not. Would you think, therefore, that Snorlax would have any play using Earthquake?
I was going to suggest Earthquake on Snorlax because I think Body Slam Earthquake Snorlax could be a real issue for a lot of teams.
Are you getting there?
What's the value? Yeah. What's Earthquake actually hitting here?
Pachirisu.
Everything. What wants to take an Earthquake from a Shadow?
Okay. What is it better to go for Earthquake against than it is to go Body Slam against, apart from Pachirisu?
What do you mean apart from? That's the only thing that needs to be brought on every team.
Pachirisu is the meta, so that's...
Yes. The meta is built around Pachirisu.
Last month was built around Marowak. Why not build them around my suggestions? That should be the new thing. Yeah. They tried it doing with Matt's suggestions, but no one picks Lucario, so yeah.
You have to change the name to Chatting Dan.
I thought you still called Chatting Shit, and I should just change my name to Shit.
Well, on the subject of fighting type damage, that's the route I've gone down here, and I've fallen down the wormhole. I agree with the initial impressions people had that you guys had about this meta, that it wasn't great, and so I've probably given it about as much thought as I feel it merits, and that's resulted in my pick being Pokedex number 740, the Woolly Crab Pokemon, Crabominable.
Can you say that again?
Crabominable. Watch the eyebrows as it goes. Crabominable.
Crab mumble, yeah.
Crab mumble. Aye.
Yeah.
It's shit. It's shit.
This is my pick.
It's really bad. It's worse than Marowak. However,
this is my pick. Don't pick it.
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that this meta is a meta where Celio, Dunsparce, Oinkologne, just to be correct, etc., are going to be good. They're going to be on people's teams, and if I'm going to play this meta, I don't want to lose to that. And so, in a meta where people aren't necessarily going to be forced to shield very often, like certainly if you're playing a team that's running But if you're playing against a team that's running those types of mons, you're not going to need to shield very often. If you can trade the first 2 mons in the 0 shields and come out in the last matchup, both of you with 2 shields, and you've got Crabominable, you're going to be in a good spot, because I'm not running Bubble, I'm running Rock Smash. I'm running Power Up Punch, and it wins so much in the 2s. And it's one of them mons where your opponent doesn't need their shields, because no one's ever shielding a Power Up Punch. But by that point, it's too late, right? And it's a really good answer to Dunsparce. It loses the 0s, granted, but it's one of those where you shield once, you do a Power Up Punch, you come out dead Dunsparce, you've got a boost to your Rock Smash, which is already hitting quite hard, and you've still got enough health to get to a second Power Up Punch, which after 1 punch or up already is going to be pretty nasty, away from something as hard hitting as Crabominable. So whatever comes in next is going to struggle. Yeah, I just think it's not something you run every game. I think it's something to have on your team, given that you really don't need all 6 Pokemon on your team here. I really truly believe that it's something to stash in on your 6 just in case you come across that person that's going to run Oinkologne, Dunsparce, Shadow Celio every line, and then you can get them in the 3rd. And if you don't come across that person, you have Crabominable on your team. You sweep a tournament, you've got Crabominable on your team. No one needs to know you haven't used it. You just look like a spy slot. So that's my pitch. It's shit, but the meta team have succeeded in making a meta where it's viable. So that's my opinion on Crabominable.
I love you saying Crabominable.
Crabominable.
Yeah, I think it's great you saying it. Just think you sound cool saying it, mate. Not gonna lie, awesome. What other moves are you running with it? Are you running Crab Hammer? Are you running Ice Punch? Are you
truly? I don't think it matters. I would go Payback. I know. I would go Payback. I would go Payback because just if there's I wouldn't bother putting a second on it. It's the complete and utter honest truth. But I would go Payback because what if you have some energy, and what if your opponent has a hit now? Right? That's I cannot foresee how that would happen. I cannot envisage the situation that there's more chance that you're going to be 2 shields up with 3 Volt Switch advantage with your Pachirisu than being in the situation where you're going to have energy with Crabominable and it being able to land a Payback on a hit. No, there is, but people seem to think that's reasonable. So I'd run Payback.
So I've just looked at this, and if you've got the energy and you do run pup Payback, and with 1 pup of upping yourself, a Payback does 94% to a hit now.
Bosh!
There we go.
Eat that, Kalethnik.
That's nice.
It is nice. Yeah. That's
But it takes 20 turns of advantage to flip that. They just farm you down.
It also takes 15 minutes for you to charge it up.
Yeah.
I've just tried before we started this, and I've just reached it now.
I wasn't for 1 minute saying that you're going to get an energy advantage with Crabominable or a turn advantage. What I'm saying is that maybe your opponent's locked in with something and you
you've got a favourable matchup, you've got a bit of a Celio down, you know what I mean, and you've hit that down at the end and you've managed to come into it where actually you've probably got 10 energy, you've done a pup, you may have even done 2 pups,
Maybe you've fully farmed down a Walrein because you can actually chew an Icicle Spear. I think Icicle Spear does 30% because of the resistance. Maybe you've fully farmed down a Walrein. I don't know. It's like the most niche move that I've ever seen that I've ever suggested them. Like I ran Sludge Marshtomp in that colour cup. This is like I didn't press it all month. Didn't run into a single Whimsicott. This is more niche than that. But if you had to run a second move, I would take that. Yeah.
I've got to be honest. I've hit a few things with beams where you never needed to use a hyper beam, but it feels good when you hit it.
Yeah. Sound like a Chansey user, Dan.
I did it. No, but I was doing it with G-Weezing last month in Devon.
Oh, nice.
And because I wasn't using Sludge, was I? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's a good pick for this as well,
I wasn't using Play Rough either, so I might as well just. And there's a couple of good players who, I fucking beamed them.
I think you're right. Clark. I think you're right.
Sorry, Clark.
I think you're right.
I can't remember. It was too long ago. I don't think you beamed me.
I did.
But if you're talking about good players, then I'm surely excluded from that. But no, it is awesome, and I think it'll be really good in this cup as well. But I'd use Overheat. Is it Overheat?
Yeah, it has Overheat. G-Weezing we're talking about now.
Yeah. Yeah. But so just on the crab, like it's a really reliable answer to Dunsparce. Like I say, you have to shield, which is really reliable. Yeah. I don't know. I just think why not? Like you don't need the 6th mon. There'll be people out there that are running Raticate. Raticate's going to be good here. What a great partner for Hypno, actually, because they're never going to suspect Crabominable.
I'm never going to expect Rock Smash Crabominable.
Yeah. And this was a long time ago now, when Mullet Mania was on Chat and Shit. So this must be years and years ago. Do you remember he told us that actually if you put Rock Smash on a Zoomer, it beats Dialga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At level 50. So
it doesn't anymore.
Is it not? Oh.
No.
Why?
Sorry to let you down. Because of the level 50s. It was at level 40 that it did.
Oh, right, okay. Well, so I'm saying there's some, it's a terrible, terrible move, but there's some damage output there. You're not going to get 2 moves, but that doesn't matter when all you're doing is power punching anyway, so.
I'm looking to see if I've got one.
You have to evolve at an icy low, and I'm not going outside in -16 to go and do that, so it might be a while before I evolve mine.
Oh, I've got a rank 45. Have you not got a home stop?
No, I've got a work stop, actually.
You've lived in Canada for how long? And you work at home. Come on.
Yeah. I've had this house for 18 months. I don't know how to get a stop. Do you think I've read that much text? I don't.
Literally, mate, you just put a bookshelf outside your house and call it a library, you know what I mean? And whoosh, you've got to stop.
That shout. Oh.
I've got 5. I just want one of them to be a gym.
You got to keep going then. You got to keep going. How many do you need before you get a gym? Like, is that how it works still?
It's a cell thing, and you can only have so many in a cell. And then if there is a gym in your cell but further away, you need to. There's a nuance to it. You see, I took the Penshu route, which was to only buy a house if it's got 3 stops and a gym. So I was golden.
When I lived in Leeds, there was a guy who I used to play with, and he bought a plaque.
Play with?
Oh yeah. Bought a plaque for his house, put it on his wall, and submitted that, and got a Pokestop.
Nice. Nice. £3 plaque from the shop.
Yeah.
Clark's like, I've got to walk 16 miles to get to the nearest Pokestop.
No.
Oh, you've got a home stop!
Oh, nice.
Clark lives in the middle of nowhere.
I've got a mountain behind my house, and yet I've got that stop. Beautiful. Nice. I submitted that, and I had to appeal it. I submitted it about 532 times, and I was like, sod this, I'll appeal it. What's Niantic going to say? It meets the criteria. It's an OS sign. Have it. So I'm very pleased.
Fair enough.
Good on you, mate.
Nice
I'm
to know.
really chuffed
Yeah.
for you.
Because you have to make sure it meets the criteria, you see.
Fair.
Just in case if they are listening, which they're not.
Well,
Actually, I've already evolved my Crabominable, and it has got Rock Smash and Payback.
well, there you go. You're not even using TMs, are you, Dan? That's.
I don't know if I've ever pressed the button. I might not get pup.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
This is
yeah.
the content we want. Let's see.
Well, if it's not a ranked tournament, then it'd be rude not to.
It's got pup.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can-
no, we can't see it. We believe you.
If you don't bring it, I might tut and sigh. I'm not sure if you can handle that.
But I just love that you've all got so little to say about it that we've ended up talking about Pokestops and the fact that it has to meet the criteria. That's
It's one of those things that I don't think any of us have ever used before. So I just don't have any. So I'm just gonna
It's not
absolutely
Crabominable.
tear into you here. Rock Smash is probably one of the worst fast moves in the game.
yeah.
Anything running Rock Smash isn't good.
Yeah.
Bubble is just better.
Swallow with Rock
Okay,
Smash.
sorry,
Oh, yeah,
Swallow.
sorry, Dan.
But
Yeah, sorry.
Swallow gets Mud Shot now.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Which
so,
is better.
Yeah. Bubble is just better.
Yeah, but you can't farm down Celio with Bubble.
And
You
sometimes
can't
things
farm
are...
down Celio with Rock Smash either.
Can you not?
No.
It wouldn't surprise me. But here's the I openly admit the first thing I said about it is that it's shit. But I also think that it's not on me. It's on the meta. Like the fact that as shit as it is, it's viable in a line of three.
And this is what you've got to think. Sometimes we've talked about it before that Pokemon don't have more than the sum of their parts when put into a team. It's one of the best things about Show 6 is having that coverage and having that dynamic about it. That, yeah, you don't know. Some fucker can just pull out a chest pin and hit you with a gyro ball. You know, I once beat freaking V-Tenacity using a Pikachu Libre. You know, this is because you can just alignment, things can go your way, and yeah,
Win lead, win
Crabominable.
game.
Honestly,
Yeah.
run Dunsparce in the lead, don't shield it. Run Oinkalone second, don't shield it. Your opponent ain't going to shield anything, or is unlikely to shield. You're likely to be in a situation where you're both down to your third mom, with two shields remaining, and they're likely to be weak to Crabominable two shields. It's very reductive, but it works against people that play the game in a reductive style, and I don't want to lose to those people. So that's.
I mean, chances are you're winning more playing Medichamp with Psycho Cut, but you know,
Yeah, it's very specific. Yeah.
very, very, very niche.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
But
you know,
can you
so I
imagine the
I was-
scenes if you hit that payback though? You'd just be yeah.
I
yeah.
think it's a harder sell than Pachirisu and Malamar.
Yeah, that's a very polite way of putting it. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's the hardest sell. Like, I get a lot of shit for the Lucario shout in that cup that I.
Deservedly.
Yeah, it's that Lucario was a good pick. It was the rest of the players that played the meta in a way that made it bad. It was your lot's fault. Lucario was good, but this.
Am I wrong? No, it's the children who are out of touch.
Yes. So that's good. Dan, were you going to say something? Or should we move to Jake?
No, I think we should move on
I
to
think we
Jake
should.
because
I think-
literally we're all kind of like, well, none of us have ever used it.
No.
I don't think I ever intend to. No offense, Matt.
No,
I'm gonna
And I will
I'm going to
I will
build
bring
this
this
one.
up again in future.
I'm going to build this one, and I will try to use it in practice games.
Fair enough.
I've used it a few times in auto rec. Highly, highly unrecommended.
There's your answer.
As we've said from someone who knows a little bit more about this Pokemon thing, that just learned about this morning. If you don't really need 6, and if you're only more likely to be using 5 and you just can have something as a bit of a sweeper, then why the fuck not?
I think
Yes.
the
Or
level that it
bottom.
would be funny is more than the level that it would be good.
It's it's the sort of mon where, like, when I used to play nail polish, and if there was a situation where I was 2-0 up, I'd always use Shadow Zapdos in the 3rd game. Like, regardless of whether it was on my team, regardless of whether it was even legal in the cup. Like, it's just like if it's like if you're 2-0 up against Drew, why not show him some pity?
Come on, we've all done it.
You can bring it to this one as well if you want.
It's going to be an interesting one, and I hope it works out for you.
Hey, I'm not
That's a very political way of phrasing that.
I'm not committed to even playing this cup. I really dislike how it looks. But if I do play this cup, I will run Crabominable. I probably won't use it, but we'll see. Yeah. Jake, your pick. Oh, go on, Dan. Go on.
I was going to say, does it spark joy? And by the sounds of it, it's actually sparking quite a lot of joy in all of us at the moment because we all seem to have a smile on our face. Every
Because you
time
know full well.
No, this is
an opponent
this is one of those
there,
situations where is it a laugh with or a laugh at?
Be one of them.
Depends if you win or not, I guess, doesn't it? That's... yeah. Go on, Jake, you're mom, mate.
Right, so I'm going to follow in Dan's footsteps, and mine is Pokedex number 176. It's the happiness Pokemon, and that is Togetic. So you've got 2 routes to go down with this one. Obviously, we've just dealt with the Skarmory spam of the newly buffed Steelwing, which is going to be big fast move pressure into things that you want fast move pressure in. But the way I would typically recommend this is Fairy Wind. Fairy Wind, Aerial Ace, and then probably Gleam. I don't really know what you're running Ancient Power against. It's not really going to be the one. So probably Gleam, just for the nuke and the bait kind of potential you got there. In terms of win rates, it's not the best. From what I worked out, it was something like 40% of the meta on the custom rankings. But the fact of what it did beat were the top of the top meta. So you dealt with the likes of Malamar, with Beware, those kinds of things. The things that people are going to be bringing and the things that people are going to be confident in using. So I think if we're going to expect to see a lot of the same repetitive, confident using, no spice mons, which, you know, no offense to people who do that. I can say I've done that in the past where I don't want to put too much thought into a team. I'll just be like, right, I've used these 6 mons before, let's go. Hit things that I know they go hits. Togetic's not going to be one of those mons that you've used before. It is ridiculously bulky, and it's been buffed pretty recently to not having only shit fast moves. So I think Togetic's going to be something that people aren't expecting with the amount of ices and electrics around. But I think if we are running a lot of fighters and a lot of things like that, then I think the coverage and the resistances that Togetic has will really stand in good stead in this cup. And I think it's a deceptive win rate considering the things it does beat. The one most important fact as well, if we give it an energy lead and a shield advantage, if we give it 100 energy and 2 shields versus no shields, it beats everything. And we all know that comes up every 3rd game. So at least once per tournament, you'll be able to beat everything. So yeah, that's my pick.
I'm just going to call you out a bit here, Jake, because you had a go at me for picking Crabominable, and the first thing you said about Togetic is that it's not great and it doesn't have a great win rate.
Well, do you know what? It does have a good win
There's
rate.
a difference. There's a difference. It beats the best things. It just doesn't beat a lot of other stuff. So obviously it's going to get annihilated by Pachirisu. But against your Malamars and your Bewares, which people are going to be bringing, they're going to do nothing.
Be fully walled.
Yeah.
I half thought, and I had to look into this when you said you were going to use Togetic. I didn't know, because I know you, Jake. I know that you're pretty hardcore, mate. You grind. You know, you go for it.
I do.
You're
I can't feel my fingers still, and I've been back home 2 hours.
I didn't know if you were going to go. And I'm running Hidden Power Fighting.
See, I actually did consider that because I've got one.
And you do, it's similar on win rates to Fairy Wind, maybe similar-ish. I'm just quickly having a look through different sims now where my phone was working and now it's dead because I have an iPhone and iPhones don't have batteries. So yeah.
From iPhone's biggest supporter, that's pretty that's pretty damning.
It is pretty damning. But that's why us Pokemon Go players have power banks, isn't it? So it picks up some interesting wins with Hidden Power Fighting, and I think there is that sort of nuance to it as well. Again, most people won't have played a Togetic, so I think people won't know where you're going to go or what you're going to use. Or
a lot of people won't realise how bulky it is as well. Like, this thing can take a hit and kind of just laugh about it afterwards.
Yeah.
And then if you get really spicy and you want to deal with all the people who are then bringing all their Togetics, just run Hidden Poison.
Yeah. I mean, because if you run Hidden Power, you can use any of the Hidden Powers, right?
No.
You're technically not changing moves because you're still using Hidden Power.
No, so you can't. You only get one Hidden Power per Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. So you could just run 3 Togetics then.
As long as they're all the same CP.
You heard it here first, folks. Matt recommends cheating.
Hey, I'm not involved in Devon.
Who's gonna know? Because you're not allowed to talk about other people's movesets.
Single point.
Then we'd be cheating by telling each other.
Oh, you are such a scumbag. Why come out with that? I'm taking notes.
Why would you tell people my plan? I've got all the Hidden Power types on my Togetics.
I've got a bug one, which is
Matt's got all the Starmies, so why not?
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And all the Togetic, and all the Slowbros as well, I think. Is it Slowbro? Oh no, Gastrodon. I used to play this game a lot, Jake.
It's not that. It's not about your commitment to the game. It's more just why?
Why? The same reason you've got. Why?
Because you know what? There is going to be that one day when you need that niche move, and bush, it's going to be there, and Matt's going to be like, "Ha ha! I told you."
This is when you start running Hidden Power Ground Luxray and Electric Cup.
Well, exactly. Yes, I were absolutely gagging for one of those, so to speak, and run out of candies before I reached any happy ending. So yeah, bad news there.
That's heartbreaking because
wouldn't it have been easier?
It really is.
Wouldn't it have been easier to just ask around and see if anybody that you knew had?
I don't have any friends. One of my best friends are aged 1, 4, and 6.
Oh.
And they're already better at battling than me.
It's okay, they grow out of it. They grow out of it and stop playing the game, and then you become the best battler in your house again.
You just end up taking over their accounts, which is wonderful, and it's an awesome way to get kind of low CP Guzzlords and Regices, etc. It's a good move. It's a good move.
That's what Jake's doing. Actually, he's started his 22 future kids accounts off early for them.
It's fun.
Here you
don't
go.
wanna-
Here
you
you
don't
go.
wanna come
Here,
into it with rubbish
QZ556.
Can you get away with just having one child with 20 names?
Elon Musk probably tries. Anyway, Togetic. So yeah, obviously you got Hidden Power, which is a move that exists. And then you could run Steel Wing if you wanted to, if you felt like you wanted fast move pressure as opposed to particularly charge move pressure. Give it 2 shields and give it Steel Wing, and you can probably do some damage to a ton of stuff. But I think, as I say, I think the spamminess with Togetic is the way to go, especially considering how bulky it is, as I say. And then you just kind of do damage at everything. The only thing that you're particularly bothered about is electric types. Even the steels the ices you're written against fairly frequently. So it beats Crabominable. Just putting that one out there.
I know we all had a good laugh about Hidden Power, but as someone that just sang the praises of Rock Smash, I'm a little bit upset that I didn't think about that before this. No, I think it's a shout. I think it's a shout.
I think bulk is going to be important. I think bulk will be interesting because it's where you get your bulk and where you hold that bulk.
There's not going to be a ton of bulky mons in this cup, and I can see it being useful.
Jake, there's going to be about 8. There's going to be about 8 mons used in this cup, and they're all bulky. Apart from Malamar.
No, I think I honestly have never used Ferret, and I will never understand or learn what its stats are. So
It's
I don't
bulky.
know if that's.
It's bulky.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Like Play-Doh-ish.
but yeah, you've got Vikavolt, which is pretty high up in the rankings, and Vikavolt just is not a good mon. So that I think there's going to be some people that just look at the rankings, work their way down PvPoke's top 10, and go, okay, this one's yellow, this one's blue, this one's black. I'm going to pick these colours because they're not the same. And that's how a lot of people will just look at their team.
I think there's going to be... People are lazy. I've learned that this month. People are very lazy. And that can be... Being lazy can be interesting because they can be picked apart by more interesting mons. So there are a couple of things I've got in mind for this cup where I'm like, actually, this could be interesting to use, and people may not expect that or not know how to actually deal with this at all. There'll be a lot of people who will just go, sod it, I'm running 6 normals.
Yeah.
Or I'm running 4 normals, Malamar and Pachirisu. And but they could get found out, as Matt just pointed out, if they're not understanding of the fact that
Crabominable.
No, but they could get really caught out, and suddenly they've gone down 2 shields because they've been hit by a pup and they've gone, shit, that hurts. And then they've got hit by another pup and like, well, I best shield that one because it's now starting to hurt. And there is points for chaos, and I think again Togetic can have its place there because you can, in match strategy, you can stick that out there. Oink Cologne's gonna do nothing to it. What's it gonna Cologne gonna throw at it? Nothing.
It's
So
gonna
they then
increase its attack by trailblazing it.
That's the big issue with Oinkologne is that it can do damage to everything because it's tackle body slam and it's just boring and dull and
but
great.
you're gonna take these things down. It's gonna take its time. And I just think, if you are going for two shielding in the back and popping something down, this could be your opportunity to actually get in that Dunsparce match or get in that.
And now that Aerial Ace isn't a shit move, like it's genuinely an option to use.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
It is. Well,
So yeah, I think Togetic. I'll definitely be bringing it.
well,
Unless I'm playing you, in which case I'm not bringing it.
You're not bringing it. You're bringing Crabominable instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm really impressed with? We've managed to talk for an hour about this.
About this. Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm just really just going to say thank you to you all because I was dreading this. So I was thinking I cannot possibly say something positive about this cup. And
So the thing is, we've spoke for an hour, and no one else is going to have a conversation about this because we've spoken about everything.
There is. We have. We've covered it. We've covered it. That's it. No need
End of the chapter.
No need for episodes 2, 3, and 4. We're done.
So there we go. That was and is chatting shit about the
Sovereign.
Yeah.
Sovereign Cup.
Reagan, yes.
Yeah. And it pains me having been on the meta team for the last season for self. Like, it's not nice for people to say mean things about the cup you've worked on, but I've tried to be positive as can be, and I know I've laughed a lot or like smiled a lot. I take no pleasure in this. Well, only a little bit, but that's just what it is, isn't it?
I'm a glass half full person, so I'm going to choose to take this as a positive that they're trying something new.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
I enjoy that they're trying something new. I definitely enjoy that. I think it's good.
Yeah, it's good, and hurrah, huzzah, go for it, try more new things and stuff like that. I will play a couple of cups and see how it goes, and hopefully just again, I'm taking this season just about having fun. Let's just go out and have fun. Let's go and pick stupid stuff. Let's build Crabominables. Use Pachirisu because you've never been able to use it before, and not
find a ferret that you've randomly got and decided why the heck not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those things where you save good ranks of everything, and I've just seen that I've got a rank 1 ferret. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
it's like
you're smiling about it.
And in Open Great League, most of this stuff is complete and utter cod shit. But it's just like there might be that one occasion I might need that.
In exactly that accent, actually.
Exactly. that in Chariots of Fire, it will win you the day. Lovely.
I love the fact that last time Clark was on, we got introduced to Thunderminge, and this time it's cod shit.
It's an old one. Thunderminge is patented. It's been trademarked now.
These T-shirts with its slogan across.
Go to Benidorm, you'll see a lot. Yeah, well, I was going to talk about Hypno, but Thunderminge would not have been particularly beneficial, I think. I think Fire would be the way forward if you're going to be taking a Hypno.
So you can throw moves into the Crabominable. Got it.
Avoid that.
No, you're going to be hit by that payback first. So,
yeah, maybe a week after you start battling with it. Yeah, you're right. Sure.
Lag is a thing in this game. Could you imagine having 20 turns of lag and still winning the game?
Just can't swap out.
Going for a bath. Coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Thanks for doing the show, Matt. I mean, again, as I said, it's not
a pleasure to be back.
Sometimes it's not the meta; it's the players that make the meta.
It's true. Yeah.
So if we all keep smiling,
most people have probably missed most people. Just to kind of get together and just have a little bit of a chat on Discord and just kind of get back to as things were. It's a bit like I'm not really fussed about the platform. As long as something's been organised, then it's good. Although it's my one a month for me.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy no matter what the background is, no matter where it's come from, whether there's egos involved or whatever. It's something that's going to get it back on track again. And then Sylph will start all over again with a cash injection right up the Niantic. Bastards. I wish they didn't do that, you know.
Gotta miss Sylph.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm not going to talk about Sylph no more because it
Oh,
lost.
It's not going to do us any good.
Yeah,
Sadly.
and we need to support Devon in what it's trying to endeavour.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's being built by the players, and let's keep it that way, and educate them along the way.
Luck with that. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you next month.
See you next one.
Yeah,
Cheers, guys.
thank you. Thanks for having me. Ta-da.